Now, Anna, you're, again, as we mentioned, you're 77, 78 years old, and I've got to say, you're an incredibly young-looking 77, 78, but you were taken advantage of by a contractor. You're out $1,400. Art, does Anna have any recourse? Is there any way that she's going to get that money back?
Well, we do have, like we always encourage people to use licensed contractors, but we do have a unit that goes after unlicensed contractors. And so if she files a complaint with us, we'll actually try to go after them and try to bring them to justice.
And Anna, have you filed a complaint?
I filed a complaint, and the department was just wonderful. And they even spoke to the gentleman. He said he would come into the office and he would try to make amends by repaying my money. And he skipped town. He left the state of Nevada.
So they actually found this
Yes.
guy that had scammed you.
Yes.
And then he left.
And he left. And the people that lived next door was his mother and father.
Art, any idea how investigators work? And we had hoped to have one of your investigators
Sure.
come in today. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to. But do you have any idea how the investigators work? How they would track down the fellow that scammed Anna?
Right. Well, first, what she did was a proper thing to do. Then we actually try to locate this person, and we give him a citation. It's for a court appearance, and so he has a court date. And if he doesn't show up, warrants are issued on him. And those are on record. And if he gets picked up for traffic violation or whatever, he could be arrested.
Is there any way of estimating how many people that pass themselves off as licensed contractors are out there in Southern Nevada? Are we talking about dozens, hundreds?
Oh, well, yeah, there's hundreds, actually. I mean, anytime you have a city like Las Vegas and also Northern Nevada where there's tremendous growth, you're just going to attract people like that. And like a lot of times you'll see a lot of guys driving around in trucks with plates from out of state. I mean, that's usually an indication. If there's not a Nevada license number on their truck, if they don't have any a Nevada contractor's license number on any of their stationery or anything, then they're not licensed.
There is no stereotypical victim. I want to bring in Dr. Darren Houston right now. He's a Las Vegas homeowner. He's an ER physician at hospitals throughout the valley. And Dr. Houston, you were also the victim of a similar scam.
That was correct. A little bit less than a scam. The gentleman that we worked with actually was going to replace some marble in our house, actually the whole house, or a large portion. And he notified us that he wasn't a contractor. We met him through a friend of a friend. And he came in, gave us some information, all the things he could do, and the time frame that he would be able to accomplish it. And that just seemed to spread out as he started coming in. We had warning signs. The first warning sign, like Art said, obviously, was there was no written bid. It was all verbal. And the second thing, after he came in, was this: he would come in one day and then not the next day and make excuses about how he couldn't come in. To make a long story short, he did remove the carpet and start placing the tile or the marble, but just a short or a small portion of the marble was actually placed, and this is over almost a 3-week period where he just did the entryway of the home and just kept coming up with excuses. Of course, he asked for a down payment to start his work, and that was concerning. And then the next
how much was that?
It was $2,300. And then he kept asking for more.
Did you cut a check or you give him cash?
No, actually, and that was the other portion. I just gave him cash. And
were there red flags going up in your mind?
Go along with Anna here. He kind of came in. He gave us a real good story about what he could do. He did show us some work of things he'd done in the past. We had met his wife, and kind of along the same story, and we felt pretty comfortable with him. We could understand what he was saying. He was able to articulate things pretty well, and he seemed to be very straightforward, and we were pretty happy with that compared to some of the other people that had come into the home and gave us bids relative to not being able to understand him, unsure about exactly what they were going to do, and he was pretty precise of what we wanted and how to do it.
How much did he underbid the other contractors?
About $2,000 for the total job.
And so the total job would have been how much?
The total job was going to be about $11,000.
$11,000.
Right.
And again, as Art had said, did you ask for a license? Did you ask to see any? You're shaking your head no.
No, not at all. We knew he wasn't contracted at the time, but we felt comfortable that he was able to accomplish the job, and that would be enough. But we found out the hard way that that's not the case.
You're an ER physician, and you probably figured, I can read people.
True.
I'm a smart guy.
I see a lot of people every day.
I can tell a scam artist. You couldn't.
Couldn't tell. The only time when I did find out is when he kept asking for money. The third time, we gave him another $1,000 just to get. He said he needed some more supplies and more materials and so forth. Then the last time was the most concerning. Was he had an issue or a financial issue relative to getting a ticket, and he had to go to court and do some other things, and he really needed some money. So he asked almost on a personal note if he could just front some more money up to give it to him. And of course, I was being naive, I guess, again, and gave him the money. So a total of $5,000 was given to the gentleman to do a work that was probably not even a quarter done at that time.
I imagine at that point you're feeling like we're in for $4,000. We want the job to be done. Weeks have passed.
The thing I did next was I asked for, at the last time when I gave him the money, I wanted some guarantee. So I asked for his driver's license, social security card, got copies. I typed up a contract with his name and address and what was done and what would be done, had him sign it at that time. And I felt a little more comfortable then. I had something to go back on. The concern was after about a week, if not 2 or 3 days later, he said, I can't finish the job. And he said he was going to have someone else try to come in and do it for the remaining balance. He actually came into my office and stole his driver's license copy and the other copy and one of the contracts. Fortunately, I had the original, and it was just a copy in my file. But
he went through your files?
That is correct. He went into my personal office and stole his license, the copy of his license, and his social security card, and one of the copies of the contract. Fortunately, my wife had the original, and that was just a copy, so I was able to pass it on to Art's colleagues at the Contractors Board. But to have that invasion of my privacy and to do that, it really obviously broke the straw relative to the camel's back, and really made me see what people are doing to other people out there, no matter what they say they're going to do.
So Art Nadler, and we're going to continue just ahead with Dr. Darren Houston and Anna. We're also going to get to Rick, who's on the line and wants to get involved in the conversation. But Art Nadler, just quickly, Darren Houston, is this an unusual story?
No, actually, that happens quite a bit, unfortunately, here. Usually, like, we recommend that you don't put any more than 10% down as far as the deposit. And if somebody starts saying that they need more money for materials, like, what does that tell you about the contractor? How stable is he? I mean, this is when we recommend that you get as many bids as you can and just kind of evaluate them, check them out, and just slow down. That's the main thing. You know, here in Nevada, especially Southern Nevada, this is very fast. People drive fast, they do things fast. Okay, you need to slow down, take a breath. This is your money. It's a lot of money sometimes. Just, you know, and there's no reason why you can't check them out. It doesn't take that long. And besides that website, you can also call us at 486-1100, and the people will be glad to help you. And in Northern Nevada, you can call at 775-688-1141. So if you don't have access to a computer, you can always have somebody at our staff try to help you.
Again, 486-1100 for the State Contractors Board. Also the website, nscb.state.nv.us. Art Nadler of the Nevada State Contractors Board is here to field your questions. Let's get some listeners involved right now.